Hi everyone, this is Daniel Crawford here, and it's been a minute, but we are back here with the second episode of Bell to Bell within, well, I guess a couple hours here. So, I had to post 2 episodes here because I am making a transition of Bell to Bell with my podcast, Wrestling Today Extra Extra. So, the formula for both are going to kind of like switch, just a little bit. So, with Bell to Bell, from now on I will be doing snap reviews on here via video, just because it's more numerous, and I'll also do predictions and reactions on here as well. As on the podcast, it would be like a weekly or monthly review, no more than like a 15-minute segment, and also I'll be doing, that 10-part review that you're accustomed to here on Bell to Bell. So those 2 formulas will be switching, and it'll be starting with what I just shared with the previous episode, which of course I called the stretch to WrestleMania, that final stretch here, connecting Fastlane to WrestleMania, and of course ending up with the predictions. So this right here are my predictions. This is championship here, my favorite WWE championship, or actually favorite championship in all wrestling history, the Undisputed title. I always liked it when they introduced it in 2002, and of course Brock Lesnar was I believe he was, the second person to hold it. I believe the first one before him. Oh, no, he was, I believe, the third, because I think Undertaker actually before that ended up holding it. Anyways, this was the Undisputed Championship that Brock Lesnar himself sort of made famous. Like, that was the one that he kind of owned, and you kind of recognize that one and associate it with him. Lesnar being like I guess you could say my third or maybe even second favorite wrestler of all time. Anyways, let's get on to the predictions for WrestleMania. So I'm going to do predictions tonight, and then I'm going to do predictions tomorrow after I watch Night 1. I will obviously be doing a reaction video, very quick reaction video, snap review, if you will, of WrestleMania Night 1, and then that'll probably be in the same video as the predictions. So I'll make that decision when I go to do the reactions. So yeah, I'll be offering that, and then we will be doing a reaction to WrestleMania Night 2. But anyways, here are my predictions for Night 1 of WrestleMania. It's going to be a good one. So WrestleMania Night 1, I'm going to go down the card. My first prediction of the night overall will be that Night 1 will start off with the WWE Championship on the line. WWE especially, but especially with WrestleMania, they start off the show with the bang, and what a bigger bang than to start it off with Lashley versus Drew for the WWE Championship. So, in that match, this story, it can go either way, and these two have a history and impact when Drew was called Drew Galloway. And I think that they had a pretty good feud last year after WrestleMania. Lashley was the second person that Drew feuded with over that WWE Championship. And they had a pretty decent feud then. But now, here we are, things have come around full circle. Lashley's the one with the title. Drew is trying to make his comeback to become a 3-time world champion, or at least WWE champion 3-time. And I think, considering the trajectory of things, how things ended up on Raw, because Lashley kind of got the best of Drew on Raw at the end of the show. We have the last laugh rule. Sometimes they not so much ignore, but more like violate the last laugh rule. Because they're trying to twist things on you. So you kind of don't know where it's going to go. However, I think this one is clear. They're going to, let's put it this way, they're not going to have all the heroes winning in one night. It's just not going to happen. So I can see a number of things happening, but in this particular match, I really would like Bobby Lashley to have a longer title reign, but I think Drew's going to win it, and I'm fine with that too because Drew is a great champion. But they're going to give the fans something to smile about to kick off the show, something to make them happy. They always, their philosophy is always make them go home happy, So this way they're going to kick it off with what they did with Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar a couple years ago at WrestleMania 35. But they're going to kick it off with this WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre is going to reclaim the title. Second on the list here, at least on Wikipedia for the card, it's the now tag team match of Bad Bunny and Damian Priest taking on The Miz and John Morrison. This match, I can see, I see Bad Bunny and Damian Priest winning this match. There's just no way they're going to have the celebrity lose it unless they plan on having some kind of rematch at Money in the Bank or something, but I doubt that. So I believe that Damian Priest is going to shine in this. That's the whole goal, is to make Damian Priest look great. And Bad Bunny, of course, he's probably going to get the pin. Bad Bunny might. But either way, Miz and Morrison, sorry, they're going to lose. And it's going to be a good match, I think. Also, the New Day defends the Raw Tag Team titles against AJ Styles and Omos. This is Omos' wrestling debut in WWE, at least on the main roster. So, this is going to be, I think, an interesting match. I've been interested in a feud. I'm interested to see how well Omos does. I think he has the potential to be like probably one of the better big men that we've seen, probably close to as good as what Big Show had been. I think I see, I don't know, I can't quite see Styles and Omos winning though. Something tells me that the New Day is going to escape with the championships. And that AJ Styles and Omos they're going to end up looking strong, but they're not going to end up looking strong enough to win the championships. Or at least, I don't know, something tells me that Styles and Omos are not winning. Maybe Omos turns on Styles. That's kind of what they're building towards. That Omos is kind of annoyed with Styles. Styles doesn't know anything about him, all this. But I can see Omos kind of breaking out into his own, and that also could possibly cost him. So everyone looks strong on their own right. Styles gets beaten up by Omos, something like that's going to happen. Either way, but I can see the New Day retaining here. So that's probably what's going to happen. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage. I know a lot of people are hating on this feud. I personally always like watching Shane in the ring, so I don't mind it. I think he always delivers. I've never seen a bad Shane McMahon match, so I could be wrong. I haven't seen every single Shane McMahon match, but most of them I have seen. And Shane McMahon always shines, and I think this is going to be good. But I also see Braun Strowman he's going to somehow find the victory here. Shane McMahon, he's going to get his comeuppance, basically. So a lot of heroes are going to win in this one, I think. Then you have that tag team turmoil match to determine the number one contenders for women's tag team titles. You have Lana and Naomi, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. You have the Riot Squad. You have Natalya and Tamina, and you have Billie Kay and Carmella. I certainly can agree with a lot of the criticism about breaking up Billie Kay and Peyton Royce to have them tag teams. Peyton Royce with Lacey Evans, and then Billie Kay with Carmella. It's nonsense. I know they try to make them have singles careers, and Billie Kay I expected Peyton Royce to shine through, and she's still an excellent talent, but Billie Kay has a lot more charisma than what people, I think, anticipated, and she's actually becoming the breakout star of the two, surprisingly. And I feel bad for Peyton Royce because she's my favorite of the two, but Billie Kay is hilarious. So, either way, I don't see Billie Kay and Carmella winning, but as much as I wanted to say, it looks like this one could benefit the Riot Squad potentially, or maybe even Lana and Naomi. It might actually make more sense for Lana and Naomi because of the story of Lana and Nia Jax told over the last 6 months. As a matter of fact, I'll just make that prediction. In my mind, I'm wanting to go between the Riot Squad and the team of Lana and Naomi. So I guess I'll just say Lana and Naomi probably by a hair, and then they go on to the next night on WrestleMania. We'll see if I'm right on this prediction because it's a hard one because there's a lot of good contending teams. It's really good when you have a prediction that's hard to make because a lot of teams that are realistically competitive, and you can see in that seat. I do not hate the women's tag division. I'll just put it that way. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair is going to headline night 1 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. SmackDown will headline both nights of WrestleMania, and that's fine. This story has been okay. It's been pretty good, and Sasha Banks is getting that. She's getting that heat where you want to see her lose and you want to see Bianca Belair win. But this kind of goes with the role of if someone wins earlier in the night, then someone's going to lose later on, like a certain person. Like if the face wins earlier in the night, then the baby face later on in the night will not win. But this also could be a case of send them home happy. So I can see this being like a huge moment. But they're not going to change every title at the show at either night. So this one, and they're also not going to change both women's division championships, though. I mean, you're not going to have a situation where both Asuka and Sasha drop their championships. For that reason, while I want Bianca Belair to have her moment, I can also see Sasha retaining too. And don't forget, Bayley has been out of the picture for a minute. Like, it's unfortunate she doesn't have a match explicitly, but something tells me that Bayley could come to the aid of Sasha. Something tells me that could happen, and we can have an extended storyline of Sasha and Bayley versus Bianca, kind of in a feud. But either way, I'm just going to make this ballsy prediction, despite the build-up where you want to see Sasha get her comeuppance. I'm going to make a ballsy prediction that Bianca Belair loses because of some kind of interference from Bayley, and Sasha Banks retains, obviously. So, like I said, I could be wildly wrong off base here. Maybe they do send everyone home happy with most of the matches of the night. But I think it's also okay to have a heel winning in the main event. That's not really their philosophy all the time, but it can also happen. So, of course, it's probably more likely that Bianca will win. But that's just my prediction. Trying to find a rule for Bayley in here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. I don't know. I do like Bianca. I think she deserves to be champion. But I don't see both women's championships changing. Maybe it's more true that Asuka won't drop the title to Rhea just yet. Although it would be a good decision to do so. I mean, it is only Rhea's second match since she debuted on the main roster, and she lost her first match only because it was a tag match, and she cost Asuka the matchup there. But also part of the reason why I can see Asuka retaining too. But so if Asuka retains, then Bianca wins the women's championship for SmackDown. But obviously Bianca would have to win first. So yeah. Anyways, there you are. That's basically my prediction for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I do believe Sasha's going to retain only because we're going to find a reason for Bayley to be involved. Because both Bayley and Sasha are heels right now. You can see Bayley kind of coming back to Sasha's good graces, helping her out. And, if that's the case, then Asuka's dropping the title on night 2 to Rhea. But if Bianca wins, then Rhea's becoming the new... Well, yeah. If Bianca wins, then Rhea's not going to win. Let's put it that way. So, yeah. Hopefully that is not too convoluted of an explanation here. So this has been Daniel here. We'll see how well I do. I'm probably going to get all of it wrong, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm okay with getting all of it wrong. I just like all the stories that are being told in general. So, let's enjoy WrestleMania.